Thank you for joining me today. Happy holidays. I'm really grateful. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to all of you. For those ones who are joining me for the first time, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me. For those ones who are veterans, you guys are just amazing. May God richly bless you for coming back again and again. Today, I want to say, forget about resolutions in 2022. Forget about resolutions, because resolutions are just decisions that people make haphazardly. More often than not, even not written down. More often than not, they are not smart. They are not specific. They are not measurable. They are not attainable. They are not realistic. And they are also not time-bound. I come from a school of thought that I don't believe in resolutions. And that's why I'm saying forget about setting resolutions that are not smart. It is having goals that are specific, that are measurable, that are attainable, they are very realistic, and they're also time-bound. Now, if you are a Christian, we also say the goals also need to be spirit-led. Apart from just being specific, they also need to be spirit-led. And now, that means that that goal that you're setting, you also present it before your God and pray about it. And so you involve God in your plans, and He will surely establish them. Good. Now, the reason why I'm saying forget about resolution is because more often than not, 90% plus of the resolutions that we set every beginning of the year, people are not very keen in following them through to ensure that they come to pass. And that is just the way it is. It is the truth that most people will come up with very fantastic resolutions. Some of them will write them down. Some of them will just have them in their heads. And in April, May, you ask them what your resolutions were, and absolutely there is nothing that they are following through. And that is why, that is the reason why I'm sharing this today, because you get yourself worked out and worked up, because you feel like everything you write, it never comes to pass. Now, I come from a school of thought where I believe in goal setting. And goal setting, I'm talking about individual goal setting. Now, as a person, the Bible records in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 2. Today I want to preach. It is very important that you have your goals written down, so that when even you are making that prayer to God, you are able to reflect and tell God that this is what I've written down. This is what I'm trusting you for this year or for the next 5 years. It can be short or long-term goals. And God is very faithful to ensure that it comes to pass. And that is the basis of my sharing today. And so the first thing that you need to do is to ensure that your goals are smart. It needs to be specific. When you're saying you want to save 500,000 shillings so that you can buy a piece of land, you are very specific of why you are saving that money. You're not saying, in 2022, I'm going to start saving. No, I'm going to start saving because I have a need, and the need is specific, and I'm trusting God to achieve that need. Now, it needs to be measurable. It surely needs to be measurable, that I am saving 500,000. So that means that as I'm saying I'm saving, I'm very particular in terms of even the monthly installments that I need to save. It can be measured. Every month that I'm not able to save the 20,000, I know I'm falling short of my target of 500,000. It needs to be attainable. Is it practically sound, or is it practically realistic that you can save 20,000 shillings a month? Again, depending on your income, then you need to do a close scrutiny of your income and be able to be very, very candid with yourself that from my expenses, am I able to save 20,000 shillings every month? If the answer is yes, then you're good to go. If it's not, then you are better off reducing that amount to, let's say, 10,000 shillings, but also increasing the duration. Now it stops being a short-term goal to a long-term goal. It can be spread even to 10 years. But it can also be reduced to 2 years, which is still a short-term goal, But the monthly installments for your saving is around 10,000 shillings. And so it's a very, very good way of you starting the year, where you are putting down goals that are very smart. If you're saying you're going to the gym, you want to lose weight, how many kgs are we looking at? You're looking at 10 kgs, 20, 30 kgs. It doesn't come easy. You need to have a sit down with an instructor. Talk about your calories intake, the food that you eat, the type of food that you eat. Are you ready to sacrifice some of these luxuries in terms of your calories intake for the sake of losing weight? So it's not just something that you wake up and say, I want to lose 20 kgs. Yes, after 2 months, you might have lost 10 kgs. But after that, you realize, hey, I'm missing these fast foods. I'm missing this type of food. Your body will ask for it. But do you have were you realistic when you're setting up the goal? So it's very important that as you're setting up the goals, that we ensure that they are smart. As you're setting these goals, it's also important that you focus on 3 areas. Focus on your career. Have goals on something to do with you developing yourself. It doesn't have to cost you money. Self-development is very important for professionals. Have something to do with the relationships. If you're single, are you planning to start dating? And how do you go around it? By when should you be starting to date, for example? If you're married, what are you planning for your family? What are you doing different to ensure that your family is intact? What are you doing differently to avoid the pitfalls and some of the issues that you had in 2021? And then lastly, talk about finances, investments. What are you doing in terms of investing for your future and the future of your children and your children's children? And all this has to be smart. How much are you putting out in terms of investment, in terms of savings? Very, very important. I have already said about this. After tackling all these 3 areas, it's very important to know what is the goal? Why are you even putting this as a goal? And how are you going to achieve it? Have an action plan. An action plan is just that goal being dissected into small bits. As I've shared, if you're saying you're losing weight, how many kgs are we talking about? Have a sit down with an instructor. An instructor will be able to advise in terms of, yes, you're looking at these kgs. This will come with this number of hours of serious training. Are you ready to give into that? In terms of the hours that you're spending in the gym, in terms of the calories that you are losing, the calories that you're not taking into your diet. So it doesn't come easy. And when you put it out there that way, it becomes very easy for you to achieve this. And when it's written down, it becomes easy for you to follow through and for you also to pray about it. Lastly, in terms of the action plan, be very, very aware that you will find bottlenecks. You will find setbacks, I kid you not. And so be open-minded that sometimes you might fall sick. Sometimes things will happen. Don't beat yourself so much. Just know that God is still in control because you committed your plans to Him. And in small bits, God is also faithful to provide and to ensure that this goal comes to pass. But when you're focused towards achieving something and you put your focus to it, it shall surely come to pass. And so be encouraged when you set these goals, long-term or short-term, stick into it, pray about it, and God is faithful to ensure that it comes to pass. And so that is information that I thought you should know about goal setting and 2022. I just hope we will put these things into practice and we'll be able to achieve more when in 2022, and we'll be able to achieve more in 2022. And when we meet towards the end of 2022, we'll be able to say, I achieved this because I wrote it down. It was smart. It was spirit-led, it was specific, it was measurable, it was attainable, realistic, and time-bound. Thank you for listening. God bless you. And I look forward to getting comments of people who've achieved their goals, people who've achieved their objectives, and people who are not sold out to resolutions. My name is Collins Peru, and thank you for listening.